Hello everybody, how are you? Here on Facebook Live, here on, what is this one? I think this was YouTube Live, and all of you here on Periscope Live. There are just too many live things going on here, but let me adjust a couple of things here, Periscope, so we can make sure that everything's working fine. Welcome to the Virtual Abbey, to all of you on Facebook Live, here on YouTube Live, and right here on Periscope Live. Let me adjust one more thing here on my dear Facebook followers and Periscope followers, so that we can all just interact. You know, I am always so thankful to be interacting with you, my Goso family. My name is David Trigg, and I am someone who likes to just share these riffs that are on spiritual themes that deal with real life, as I call it, real Goso. Because I believe that we need to be always thinking about how to get off the couch. So I want to talk to you today, my dear friends, here on Facebook Live, here on YouTube Live. You can go, by the way, to davidtrigg.com/live talk, so you can watch me on YouTube or also on my website, and also here for you on Periscope. Welcome. Glad to have you guys. So, you know, for most of us as creatives, as healers, as people that give, we always struggle with this idea of how to get off the couch and the balance between giving and taking, resting and doing, being and also hustling. You know, this constant fight within us as empaths, as healers, as people of grace that are constantly giving between time for us and time for others. And I remember a time when I was struggling with similar things, and I went to my spiritual guide in the mountains of Colorado. It was a December morning. I remember it was snowing outside, and I was facing this decision in my life, whether I should go to this huge, amazing opportunity that would pay me lots of money, or whether I should go and do something that wasn't as exciting. And I remember struggling with this battle in my head, this debate that I had going on that really, in many ways, it was very clear to me. Go for the big. Go for what's awesome. Get off the couch to do something great. I remember going to my spiritual guide, and he began to just quietly tell me about his own path towards that very place. You see, he was actually not born in Colorado. He wasn't even born here in the States. He hadn't even been here for a long time. In fact, that was his first week in the States, period. He was a missionary from Ecuador in South America. He hardly spoke the language. He was actually glad that I spoke Spanish so that we could actually talk. And I became a bit of a spiritual guide and spiritual director to him, even though I was the one looking for help. And isn't that how it often happens, right? You are the one looking for help, and yet that person is the one who needs you the most. So I remember getting off my couch and going and talking to the spiritual guide and asking him, which way should I go? Should I go for the path of least resistance towards success, towards all the things that I need? After all, I need help. I am weary. I am tired. I need more things in my life. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever said that to a spiritual mentor, to God, to your friends, to your husband, to your wife, to those who love you? Your excuse is, but I need more things. But I don't have enough, God. I need more stuff in my life. Have you ever told yourself that you need more? And so I remember going to my spiritual director and telling him the very thing. I need more. And I remember him telling me again that he had only been in the country for a week. And he began to, over the next 20, 30 minutes, tell me what a sacrifice it was for him to even be at that very monastery, at this place of prayer. Because he wasn't used to the food. He wasn't used to the culture. He wasn't used to the snow. He was telling me how hard it was for him to be in this place because of the cold and the snow. He was a missionary from Ecuador. There is no snow in Ecuador. And I remember him telling me from his own life experience, the sacrifice that he was undertaking. That when he got off the couch of his comfortable country and culture and all that he knew, he didn't get up to go to something bigger and better. He didn't get up to go to do something that was fancier and that brought him more success, more fans, better clothes, and fancier cars. Instead, what he taught me is that he got up, and here's the phrase that he used. He said, I got off the couch to go and pursue the place of greatest dedication, the place of greatest devotion, the place that's asking the most of me. Amazing. I remember sitting there listening to my spiritual director, this man that he could have told me that I should go for the bigger, for the best, for the more success, for the more fans, for the fancier house, for the better and safer neighborhood. He could have told me that when you get off the couch, make sure that you're going to a bigger place, to a bigger experience, to something of greatest, of more success. But instead, what he told me, not just with his words, does anybody know what it's like to have someone just be all talk and no action? Have you ever been that person who is trying to be this very giving and generous individual, and yet your heart is so far from that reality? And so my spiritual director sat there, and with his life speaking, he told me, pursue the place of greatest devotion, of greatest sacrifice. What an amazing moment that was. It challenged me deeply, because the reality is, my Gozo fans, my Gozo family, is that when we get off the couch, when we want to go and actually do something with our lives, we expect to have it be something greater than ourselves. We want it to be something successful, fancier. We want more money. We want more stuff. We believe in capitalism. We believe that we deserve to have more, while many people are suffering, while children and the elderly are living and going to bed daily in pain, alone, in tears. And even though we are the givers and the healers, and we are the ones that are the empaths and the compassionate spirits, and even though we are the ones that have been called by God, by the universe, and by life to be eternal beings that give and that are generous, yet we struggle. Because as the scriptures say, the heart of man is greatly deceiving, and wicked, he even calls it. Who can understand it? Have you ever felt that your heart deceives you? That even though you want to accomplish great things for the greater good, yet you long for wealth. You long for the things that are easy. You long for your life to get easier and easier as we age. Who wants to work harder towards the end of their lives? I'm 40 now, we say. I'm 50 now. I'm getting to that place, God, life, husband, family, where I want to just relax and rest. I want to retire comfortably to a nice big home. Have you ever felt like you deserve more than what really you have? Have you ever felt that you deserve comfort when you are really being called to create? Have you ever been deceived by wealth when really you are being called to be generous? Have you ever wanted to be in a better and bigger place when really God is calling you to have a bigger and simpler heart? And that only comes when we are actually getting off the couch to give more, to sacrifice more of ourselves. This is a season in the Christian tradition called Lent, which is the 40-day season between Ash Wednesday and the resurrection celebration of life on Easter Sunday. And this season of Lent is often a time of sacrifice. This is the time to get off the couch, my friends, not towards something greater, not towards more activity, not towards more hustle and work, all good things. But perhaps this season is a time for you to get off the couch towards greater devotion and greater sacrifice, towards the simpler things. Now, how do we come about being that kind of person? Because I'm not. Are you that kind of person who easily gives things away and who gives to others and who is easy and to whom it comes easy to be other-centered, not to me? Our hearts are wicked and we deceive our own selves. So how do we come to that place of true surrender? It is only when we examine our lives. It is only when we truly live an examined life. The unexamined life is a life of selfishness. But the life that is examined, a life that pauses to reflect upon our intentions, is a life of true joy, is a life that can really come to a place of generosity that doesn't come because it's popular or because it's a thing to do or because it's something that will help your cause. Have you ever been around people that are generous because it benefits their cause? Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever been that person? But have you ever been around someone whose intention of generosity and sacrifice comes from an examined life? A life that has confessed wealth, materialism, avarice, jealousy, and gluttony. A life that has confessed selfishness and impurity. Psalm 1 says that blessed is the man who walks not with evil men, who does not sit in the seat of scoffers, who does not walk in the path of injustice, but his and her delight is in the law of God. And in his law, he or she meditates day and night. Have you ever been around an examined life? To me, this man that I met in Colorado, my spiritual guide, was a man who was living an examined life. And that's why when he told me to choose the path of basically most resistance, I could listen. And I really was challenged. How do we get off the couch? It's not about being less lazy. It's not about being more active. It's not about being, having more productivity and being more productive. Getting off the couch means that we pause to examine our intentions, our motivations, our source. What is your source of life? What is the thing that is feeding you right now? And really, the scriptures say there are only two things. It's either love for God or love for wealth. And for the longest times, I've debated, why is it either or? And the older I get, I've realized that it's truly a decision that has to be made inside daily. It's not once a year. It's not once in a lifetime, because daily our hearts deceive us, right? Daily we get up off the couch to what we perceive as something that's generous, to what we perceive as something that is other-centered, when truly we are bowing down at the altar of self-aggrandizement and self-worship. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I'm speaking from experience. But a life of true generosity is a life that is examined. Examine yourself today, my GOSA family. Ask yourself, what is my intention? And if your intention is pure, if your intention is to give generously, then celebrate it. Just be thankful. But I want to just encourage you to pause and reflect. I want to read to you one thing here as I go that has been really inspiring to me. It says, God, the universe, the energy, the supreme being, whatever your name may be, whatever you call it. For me, I call it God. It says, God calls us to inwardness and true value. We are to look at our hearts, examine our intentions, and bring ourselves back to the water. Bring back to the water of life. That's what I want to go back to, my dear GOSA family. That's what I want to invite you to go back to. Go back to the water of life. What brings you life? What brings you joy? What brings you true satisfaction? And let that be that you are about others, about the success and the wellness of other people. Then truly we will find our lives. Then we will truly lose our lives. And we will truly then live a surrendered life this Lent season. We will truly live a life of joy, a life of purpose, a life of grace, a life of gozo, a life that others will see that is different, because we have chosen to walk the path of most resistance. Resist walking the path of least resistance. Because many times when we enter that path towards what we consider abundance, I find that many times there are obstacles that get in the way. And those are often the warning signs telling us this is not the way to go. Do you know what I'm talking about, Gospel family? Listen to the warning signs. Listen to those moments that are telling you that you're going down the wrong path. Go to the true source of life. Choose the path of most resistance. Choose the path of the most devotion. Choose the path of greatest dedication. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so thankful for the viewers here. Be sure to subscribe to all of the buttons and channels here on Periscope, here on YouTube, and here on Facebook Live. So delighted to have you guys here. A few viewers on each one of these different platforms. I'm so delighted. And as always, be sure that you are living a life of joy. Remember that though there is pain in the night, gusto comes in the morning. Send me an email. Tell me how these things are helping you. Tell me your own thoughts. This is an interaction. This is just an attempt to simply get a message across to others, to you, and hopefully I can also learn from you. What are your thoughts on how can we get off the couch in a better way? Thanks again. I will see you next time.